Hello there, and welcome to another Language Bites video. I'm Cata, as you know, your host for these couple of minutes, and well, let's get started. Today, we are looking at a kind of structure especially useful when it comes to emphasizing new information or emphasizing information in general, I'd say, giving explanations and contrasting ideas. We're talking about something called cleft sentences. Now, you don't need to worry that much. Cleft sentences are these structures that allow us to do all of the functions I've mentioned a moment ago, and we do so by, in a way, dividing a sentence, and so that we have a clause. Of course, because the sentence is divided and we have a clause and a main verb, we're going to find at least two verbs. Let me give you an example. So, of course, we may say a good entrepreneur focuses on what he or she is good at. And that's a normal sentence, no problem. But why say that when you can say what a good entrepreneur does is focus on what he or she is good at? So I'm bringing first what I want you to pay attention to. So, what a good entrepreneur does. Here is, I'm catching your attention. This is the emphasis I mentioned a moment ago. So, what a good entrepreneur does, note the stress on that word, is focus on what he or she is good at. So, not only do we notice this change in the position of the elements, the position of the clauses, let's say, but also the appearance of does there. Of course, it's needed not only for emphasis, but also it would be impossible to say what a good entrepreneur is. Focus, no, because I am placing this in the position of subject. Something is focus on what he or she does. Of course, that is completely nonsensical, but that is the subject, what a good entrepreneur does. Let's take a look at some more examples. The previous example was a WH clause. Now we're going to take a look at some it cleft sentences. For example, it was the best investment that I ever made. It is not just retailers such as Amazon or eBay that have built successful online businesses. What we are doing is putting it at the very beginning, then a form of the verb to be or its negative form, then the phrase that we want the emphasis or we want the emphasis to be the best investment or retailers such as Amazon or eBay, and then this information, which is introduced by that or which or who. That I ever made or that have built successful online businesses. That it at the very beginning is very much needed from the point of view of grammar, especially because what we're talking about is not that it's what comes later on, either the best investment I ever made or retailers that have built successful online businesses. But it's there because we need it. Remember that in English, we always need some sort of subject. So it's not really referring to anything. Now, what we are doing here is bringing the emphasis to perhaps the subject, or why not the object, or any other element like an adverbial or prepositional phrase. So, in the first case, it was the best investment that I ever made. What did you make? The investment. That's your object. And in the second one, who built successful online businesses? Well, retailers such as Amazon or eBay. Here, the emphasis is on the subject of the sentence. Let's take a look at some WH cleft sentences, such as, what we're offering is a free trial. What's done is done. What we provided was a highly professional accountancy service. Here, the structure is that for WH clause, what we are offering, what's done, what we provided, then a form of the verb to be, in the first case is, as well as in the second, and in the third we find was, and later on my emphasized word or phrase, a free trial, done, a highly professional accountancy service, right? The emphasis, the highlight here is on the action. What we're offering, an action. What's done, another action. What we provided, another action. See how in the previous examples the emphasis was on, we would say, nominal elements, objects, subjects, and, well, adverbial or prepositional phrases. Now, what we can do with these, that's a cleft sentence, is move them within the sentence. I can say, it's amazing what they've achieved. But by bringing it to the verb to the front, what they've achieved is amazing. A late night decision was what saved the business. What saved the business was a late night decision. The tone is completely different. The attitude conveyed is completely different. Now, with WH cleft sentences, I can draw these emphases or play as we did with what before, but with other WH words, such as when. The day when I called was last Tuesday, or the day I called was last Tuesday. Oh, sorry, that's Thursday. The hotel where we stayed was near the company offices. Here I cannot omit it. The person who is responsible for accounts is on holiday, or the person responsible for accounts is on holiday. And last, the reason why we've called this meeting is to discuss our quarterly sales, or the reason we've called this meeting is to discuss our quarterly sales. We can change them, play with them, right? So we can do this by means of other structures, not only it or what, but also the thing that made him successful was his adoption of a mentor. What made him successful was his adoption of a mentor. All that we need to do is improve our method of chasing payment. All we need to do is to improve our method of chasing payment. So what we're doing here is putting the thing or all plus that or which or who clause, then a form of the verb to be, and the emphasized word or phrase. Let's find them together. The thing, that, all that, that's easy. Then the clause, that made him successful, or what made him successful, or that we need to do, and then the verb be. Was, is in the second case, and my emphasized word or in this case is phrases. His adoption of a mentor, improve our method of chasing payment. So, we use them mainly for emphasis, for comparing, for contrasting. They're extremely useful, as you can see. And we can use structures such as it or any WH word to introduce them. All right? My advice to you would be don't forget the verb. So, as you know, practice makes perfect, so make sure to follow the link in the description box to access and do 2 activities on this topic. Since you're here, as usual, please stay a bit longer and take a look at some other of our videos. All right, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.